Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach, and today I'm talking about why can't women understand this? Okay. So, women and men are different on many levels, and a good book that you can read about this is actually Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. I think that's a very accurate book on the differences between men and women, and I highly recommend that you check it out. It's a book that's been around forever, so you'll be able to find a cheap version of it somewhere in a charity shop or a thrift shop or whatever. Or an old copy of it online, like on eBay or something. You should be able to find this book quite easily, and it should be easily accessible to you. Definitely you'll be able to get it from a library for free to read. But it's great at showing you the differences between men and women, and it's a great way actually to be able to understand the opposite sex. So if you're a woman watching this video, it'd be a good way for you to see into the mind of a man, and if you're a man watching this, it'd be good for you to see in the mind of a woman. So you know how to communicate with each other, and you know how you both act. So you can therefore have a better relationship. And what we got to do is we've got to celebrate our differences rather than trying to change each other. Because what I often see is that women are trying to make men think and act like a woman, and men are trying to get women to act and think like men, which obviously doesn't work because women are women and men are men. But so one of the things that women need to understand, and why they don't understand this is still a tiny bit of a mystery to a lot of guys, is that sometimes guys need solitude. Okay, they need to be on their own and to have time to just stew things over. And a lot of women don't like that. And the reason why they don't like that is because they kind of see it as a rejection. So if a man needs to be in the man cave, or the man needs to, just let off some steam by playing some video games, because you see a lot of women getting really bitter about their husbands playing video games. I mean, yeah, sure, there may be an addiction there, because I'm sure some guys get addicted to video games. These wives are very, very unhappy with the fact that their men are playing too much, for example. But sometimes a man does need to let off some steam and needs some time to just not think, right? At least not think on anything about his life. He needs time away from his life, for example, to fish, to play video games, to watch TV, just so he can decompress. But like I said, a lot of women don't tend to like that. Okay, because let's say, for example, that they feel like, oh yeah, but these things need to be done, that thing needs to be done, or I was really hoping we would do something today. Now, fair enough, yeah, a woman is obviously wants to do things and spend time with her husband. That's fair enough, but it's also important that you find a compromise there to let the guy have some time to himself to just let off the steam. Because let's say if he's got a stressful job, or maybe he just has a lot of things on his mind at the moment, what he really needs is some time to just decompress and just to be on his own. This is why they call it like the man cave, right? That's where he goes for solitude and to recharge, because a lot of men find it difficult to recharge around a woman, because a woman typically wants to do things like, oh, yeah, we should go to the shops, we need to go and do this, we need to go and pick up this, we need to do that, we've got like a grocery list of things that they need to do or he needs to do, right? But sometimes for a guy to be able to do those things, he needs some time alone first, or at least at the end of the day. But because a woman tends to have like a high schedule for their relationship, and for him, sometimes he doesn't get that, and it makes him miserable. But it's really important that you do let your guys and your boyfriend, your husbands and your boyfriends, have some time to themselves, even if it's just a couple of hours a day. Like, give that to him. Right, he will love you for it if because I'm sure you can come up with a compromise. Like, hey, how about you play video games for like 2 hours this morning, and then the rest of the day we do this, or something like that, right? Or he has like a day where over the weekend where you can just decompress and you sort of get everything done on one. Like, let's say you get everything done on Saturday, and then he has Sunday to just sort of like chill out, and sort of like just sit on the sofa for a bit. He may still even do other bits for you, right? If you say like, okay, in an hour, can you take out the rubbish, or can you clean the garage or something like that. But this is one of the things that men really need. Men really do need their solitude and their time to think. Because like how a woman mentally, for her mental health, she needs to, not always, but it's most of the time, women like to talk about the feelings, or they like to do something, or they like to decompress in that kind of way, where they can talk on the phone to their mothers or their friends or to their husbands about their lives, and have a group or get together with her friends and have a good chat and things like that. men kind of need that too, but in a different form. Like they need it in solitude. That's how they decompress. Women usually decompress by communicating, by talking, by opening up their emotions, by unbagging everything that's going on in their brains, by talking to someone else about it. Whereas guys decompress by having solitude and being on their own and doing something mundane that they don't really need to think about too hard about. Or if it is something they need to think hard about, like if they're playing chess or they're playing a video game or something, then it's still time away from their other problems, right? Because they're focusing on the video game, or they're focusing on the football match, they're focusing on fishing, they're focusing on the golf game. They're not focusing on the other problems in their lives. They need time away from their lives, basically. And that's one of the things that women really, really do need to understand. Because if you do that and you let him have that time, when he comes back into his life, shall we say, like it's almost like he steps out of his life and goes into like some sort of like imaginary sort of place, like the golf or the video game or the television set, right? And then he comes back and he's more recharged, and then he's able to deal with those things because he's had time away, okay, mentally. And that's good for his mental health, right? That usually helps with men's mental health if they have time on their own for a bit. Okay, obviously it's not good for anyone to be in solitude 24/7, but guys definitely need that solitude to decompress. Now, everyone's different though. I'm not saying that this is the reality for all men and that's the reality for all women. I'm sure there's women out there that like their solitude as well and their time on their own to decompress and to maybe do those things too. Obviously, I'm being very stereotypical here, but that's generally how things play out. Okay? So it's really important that women understand that men need solitude. They need that time to be for their mental health, right? So if women were more accommodating to that, then they would have a lot more happier husbands, right? Especially mentally. Okay, because if you've given him a huge list of things to do and none of that time and none of that there's no room basically for him to just have a bit of chill time, bit of downtime, then he's going to feel quite sad basically, and maybe it really will affect his mental health. So women, we really need to make sure that you give the guys in your life, whether they're your husbands, your boyfriends, your sons, your fathers, you got to let them have that solitude, and not to take it as rejection. Don't take it personally. It's just what he personally needs. He doesn't really want to be away from you. He just needs time away to decompress. That's all he needs. And just like how most women need to talk about their feelings, men need solitude and time to sort of just sit with their feelings, sit with their problems. And usually when they've been in the man cave, whatever the man cave may be for them, whether it's video games or playing golf or watching TV, during that time they can usually think of a way to solve their issues of what's going on in their life. So let's say they had a bad week at work. How can they resolve that next week? Usually during that solitude time they can think about it, but they can't really think about it as much if they're doing other things like having to do the big list of chores, or having to think about things to do on the weekend with planning family things. Like, he has no time for that if those things are happening. He needs time on his own. He needs some solitude. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christinelovish.com, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.